Hello, and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Wark, and today in the Spotlight, the focus is on Black Door Wine Company, an upscale wine store in the Hilltop Business District. Then we're visiting Above the Dome in the McKinley Business District. Andrew Fry talks about office space on Tacoma Means Business. And today, my guest is Kristen Lynett with the Office of Environmental Policy and Sustainability. Welcome, Kristen.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here, and this is a little different. You're not actually with a business, but we're going to be talking about some things that have a big impact not only on businesses and their customers, but on the environment, and that is the Bring Your Own Bag Ordinance.
Right. So the Bring Your Own Bag Ordinance, which was adopted by City Council in 2016, just went into effect on July 12th.
And so now when I go to the grocery store, I bring my own bag.
Yeah, when you go to any retailers.
Okay.
Actually, so it applies to all retailers, and really we're encouraging people, to bring their own reusable bag, because retailers are now no longer allowed to hand out and distribute the thin plastic bags
that we've come so accustomed to until now.
Yeah, exactly. So those won't be allowed to be distributed. What will be allowed to be distributed are paper bags, recycled content paper bags, or businesses can hand out reusable bags. Each of those bags, though, they'll have to charge a minimum of 5 cents that the businesses then keep.
Right. So the businesses keep that, and that helps cover the costs. And we'll just get used to bringing our own bags, which is has a big impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, really. What this is about is encouraging people to reuse things and not purchase disposable plastics and disposable paper bags as well. Both have impacts, not only here in Tacoma in terms of litter. We certainly see plastic bags blowing around Tacoma streets.
Oh yeah, in the streets, stuck in fences, even in the water sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So they can certainly have a litter impact here. They impact our solid waste and recycling center here. If a paper bag or a plastic bag gets caught in the recycling equipment, they've got to shut the whole plant down and go find that loose plastic bag and get it unstuck, which is really costly.
And these facilities have like miles of
conveyor belts, and so if it gets caught in a gear, they've got to go hunt it down. And yeah, I was at the recycling center on a tour a few years ago, and I think in that hour I was there, they had to shut it down 2 or 3 times even.
And this is a big impact and raises the cost for everybody.
Exactly. And there's upstream impacts, both to paper and plastic bags, to make and manufacture and transport them here to Tacoma.
Yeah, people think of paper bags as being recyclable and reuse of resources, but they have an impact as well.
Yeah, they do. They actually have a higher greenhouse gas footprint and a water footprint to make them and transport them here to Tacoma than a plastic bag does.
And by footprint, you mean they create ozone gases that contribute to?
Yeah, all sorts of all the different parts of the environmental impact of producing and making any kind of a product. You call it its footprint. And so, yeah, paper bags, even if they're made from Washington trees and recycled content, they still have an impact on the environment.
So the City of Tacoma is taking a step forward. They're becoming a more environmentally conscious city, and this will have a big impact. And they're not alone. Is that right?
No, right. So we're the 13th community in Washington to adopt some kind of shopping bag restrictions. The first one was Bellingham, probably about 5 years ago now at this point. And so, yeah, we're really saying it's a really good way. Everyone touches shopping bags. And so I think it's a really good reminder to everyone to be thinking about how can I minimize my impact and reuse products.
Now, you've been doing a lot of work to reach out to businesses to be sure they understand and are prepared for what we're experiencing now, which is the Bring Your Own Bag Ordinance. What are some of the things that you're doing to support businesses on that front?
Yeah, so we've certainly reached out to them directly and let them know, how and when this is happening and how to get prepared. We have a lot of collateral on our website that they can download to really make sure that they're ready and their clerks are ready, that they can easily communicate with the customer.
You're helping with that as well, getting tools for that?
Exactly. So point of sale signs and posters and things like that, so they can really make sure that their customers are aware.
And from a customer perspective, I know you've done a lot to think through all the details of how this ordinance will work. For example, I always go in the vegetable aisle and stuff my vegetables in little plastic bags. Will those still be there?
Yeah, so produce bags are still going to be allowed for free. Also, little small paper bags that you might find at a hardware store or
Put my nails in.
Yeah, or the grocery store to get your mushrooms. If you're buying a greeting card and you need a little paper bag, those will still be allowed. They need to be recycled content paper, but they will still be allowed to be given away for free.
Okay, that's interesting. And you're also thinking about low-income residents and have done some things for them.
Yeah, so we really want to make sure, again, that everyone has access to reusable bags. So the city has purchased 10,000 bags. We had them designed by a local Tacoma artist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they're really great. We wanted some really good quality, beautiful bags. And so we have been working on distributing all of those, really aiming at our low-income shoppers. We just want to, again, make sure everyone has access to plenty of reusable bags.
That's great. And if they're designed by local artists, I want one too.
I know, they're going to be a hot commodity, I think.
So maybe you'll end up making more, but where can I get one?
So we're still going to be at a few more community events.
Okay.
And those will all be on our website.
Okay.
Which ones we're going to be at. Also, if someone wants to come down to the Customer Service Center at the Tacoma Municipal Building.
They're on Market, in between Market and St. Helens,
Yeah, exactly. We'll have them there as well.
Okay, good. And so I need to be prepared to have my bag and anywhere in the city of Tacoma.
Right, so this applies to all retailers within this city, so about 1,200 retailers. And yeah, we're really just trying to get people in the habit, and it sometimes takes a little while to get into any kind of a habit. So we're really trying to get people to remember, most people have plenty of reusable bags. They just forget to either take them, put them in their car, get them out of their car and bring them with them into the store. So this is, really just a way to get people to get into that habit.
Seems like a small detail, but I think you're right. People just need to remember that, or maybe they'll be running back out to their car again or whatever. What have you heard about the experiences of other cities that have implemented these ordinances? There's several in our state and elsewhere. I'm sure there have been surveys and other activities.
Yeah, and there have been surveys, many other cities around the country, even around the world, have put these kind of bag restrictions on. And for the most part, everything turns out just fine. And people really, frankly, even forget that it was ever once an issue. Even the businesses, oftentimes the majority of the businesses surveyed say that the implementation was just fine and they haven't really seen any negative consequences of it.
So there will be a little bit of transition we're experiencing right now, but we'll get used to this and we'll be making a difference. I mean, there's a lot of research now about the impact of these kinds of things, as I understand.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna not have millions and millions and millions of plastic bags being used in Tacoma. I mean, there will certainly be. Oh, millions, yes. It's hard to get an exact estimate, so one of the other parts of this ordinance is that the retailers are going to need to submit to the city after the first year how many paper bags they distributed, so we can kind of get a count of kind of what the impact of this law is.
Wow.
But yeah, millions and millions of bags are being used in Tacoma every year.
So I guess I don't think about that because I just go to the store. But as I start to ponder on that a bit, I can imagine I come home with several bags at a time. And you multiply that times a city the size of Tacoma, and that does add up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then you get those double bags that you're bringing home. And so, yeah, it could be, every family probably goes through hundreds of bags a year.
So we're still kind of in the vanguard of municipalities that are taking a lead and having an impact on the environment on several levels. I mean, we talk about plastics that break down and get into the water systems. It's bad for the sea life. We've got the environmental impacts of the ozone and all those kinds of things that are contributing to environmental impact. We can feel good about that.
Yeah, I think this is a really visible and a positive step. There are alternatives to disposable plastics and disposable ware, and this is just another way that we can feel, proud and progressive that Tacoma is taking this step.
Great. Well, Kristen, I really appreciate you taking the time to help us understand what we're experiencing in Tacoma now and why. And I'm looking forward to getting in the habit of using my reusable bag.
Great, me too. Thanks, Mike.
Coming up, Pride Runs Deep with the McKinley Business District. Connecting people to business is what Tacoma is all about. McKinley Hill is home to businesses, arts, events, and investments in the community. Signature restaurants, services, and a dedicated neighborhood are all part of this district.
Hi, I'm Jamie K. Jones. Welcome to the McKinley Business District. We are fortunate enough to have some great neighbors like the Tacoma Christian Center. They do a lot of great things for our community. They have a school supply drive every year. The McKinley Lofts is one that we're really excited for, the Artist Lofts.
For the first time, Tacoma will have a place for artists to not only live but work out of their unit.
And then also we have a coffee shop and a barbecue place coming in down the street. That's really nice.
It doesn't take long for after a project is completed to have all of a sudden a large amount of people move in and start opening new businesses. The vibrancy of a community kind of comes to surface.
I've always liked the district. It's very accessible to Tacoma, to the freeway, to the Dome events, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here for growth. We're one of the original business districts in Tacoma because of our proximity to the port. We're lucky enough to have a lot of people that work down at the port as our customers daily, whether it's a longshoreman, which we love, or anybody else that can make it here. We're excited for the new expansion of I-5 and for D Street to reopen, kind of link us back up with the Tacoma Dome. I know there's a lot of exciting developments going on down there with the Freight House and the Amtrak station. We've always had a ton of support from our community here locally, right around our peripheral. We have the McKinley Hill Street Festival coming up in August, and it gets better every year. I feel like we've always had a lot of support from our surrounding community. Right here in our business district, we are looking to the most exciting times of growth ever. I'm beyond excited for our neighboring McKinley Loft.
We are hoping that this project will be the catalyst for more businesses to move in.
As Tacoma continues to grow, and I think we're on a pretty fast track to that, I think the McKinley Business District will present a lot of opportunities for people to open new businesses and join us here at the top.
For more information on experiencing Tacoma business, log on to experiencetacoma.com. When we return on Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry will talk about Tacoma small business opportunities. Business growth in the City of Destiny is full of opportunities. On this edition of Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry talks about the importance of local business.
Congratulations! You had a business idea, you implemented it, and now you have customers and revenues. Now what you need to do is find a space so that you can start your company and grow it a little bit further. Here's some ideas that you might want to consider when you're looking for space to place your company and potentially grow it. Number one, take stock of your requirements. How many desks are you going to need? That's going to matter in terms of your square footage, obviously. What kind of access do you need? Are you going to be the only one going into the office? Are others going into the office? And when do you need to have that access? Is 7 by 24 going to be important to you, or do you need just to get in there when the building opens and get out when the building closes? The next thing you need to consider is the length of the lease. How long are you going to need this? Now, if you're a new company, it's a little scary going for those long-term leases. That's a commitment where you are paying for space in the long term. And if your business changes, you're still committed to that lease. Now, a short-term lease is a little scary in that, what if the building can no longer accommodate you? What if there's other tenants who want to come in? So that thinking about the long-term, short-term lease is an important one. And in my particular opinion, short-term a little bit better when you're trying to start your company and grow it. Speaking of growing it, what kind of scalability do you have? let's just say that you move into the space, you've already done the requirements, you needed 4 desks, you wanted 7 by 24 access, and now you need 8 desks. How does it fit you? How does it grow? Is the building that you're in amenable to taking down another office? So keep that in mind before you do that first move-in. How much service are you going to need? Are you going to be the CEO of your company and the janitor? Are you going to take care of finances, and also are you going to sweep up afterwards? How much services do you need? Sometimes when you go into a building with your office space, you'll pay a little bit more, but that's where you get the utilities for, janitorial and so on. It's an important thing to consider. Finally, what about alternatives? I mean, it's exciting to think you're going to move into a space, it's going to be yours, you're going to put a sign up, your employees are going to come in there and you're going to grow and it's going to be great. But right now, would it make more sense to do something like a hot desk or a co-working location where you can come in and ease that ramp up until you can find the perfect place to move into?
Thanks, Andrew. For more ways on helping grow your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at TacomaMeansBusiness.com. When Business Matters returns, our focus will be on color, smell, and taste at a hilltop wine store specializing in the world of wines in the Spotlight. Today in the Spotlight, it's time for an international world of taste and color at a Tacoma Hilltop business.
My name is David Lauer, and this is Black Door Wine Company.
David planted Black Door Wine Company in the heart of Tacoma's Hilltop Business District. The business is all about wine. Whether you're a passionate connoisseur or just out for good taste, Black Door is your passport to international wines.
Well, I specialize in wines from around the world, varietals. I help people understand wine. I teach people about wine, and I have sources, sommeliers that come in and teach me about wine, and I can pass that on.
Running a business can be packed with dull processes and procedures, but David said he's got one of the best work benefits anyone can ask for.
Yeah, I get to drink a lot of great wine. There's not a better job that I can think of, other than maybe a Formula One driver.
Coffee, food, and wine are a mainstay in the great Puget Sound region. David has been in this line of work for a long time, and his experiences helped him launch his own wine business.
I started visiting the better wine shops in Seattle during the time, and just discovering wine, drinking everything I could afford at the time, and discovering wines, and I just got more interested in them and started collecting them.
Customer value plays an important role in the wine business. In David's case, customers not only sample products, they're encouraged to do so. Wine discussions with distributors, clients, and David all meld into a world of wine experience.
I think what my customers really enjoy, is when they come in here and they see all the different varietals of wines, the different labels, most of which you won't see anywhere else. I deal with mostly small production.
David provides each customer with a unique wine profile that serves as a guide to help them purchase something they'll enjoy.
I develop a palate profile on people, on the customers, so that we can better fit them with the right wines.
Every business needs to find a niche to launch a successful enterprise. David says with his business plan, small can lead to sizable rewards.
If you're in business, you have competition, you're going to have competition. You have to find your niche. I think mine is find a low production, specialty wines. I think the largest production that I carry of any single particular producer is maybe 5,000 cases a year, and that covers different, types of wines which they produce.
As with many entrepreneurs, product knowledge can make or break a business. David really knows his products.
Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Malbec, Bobal, Carmenere.
And the list continues.
Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon.
And continues.
Barolo, Nebbiolo, Montepulciano, Montecchino.
And continues with wine from some places you'd never guess as wine-producing countries.
I have wines from the Canary Islands, which is off the coast of North Africa, which are wonderful wines. They've been making those for 500 years or more.
David is always learning about new varietals of wine. Traditional or unique, his focus with Black Door is making sure each of his wines is of the highest quality.
Quality is always the number one thing that I'm looking for in a wine. You can find many wines of the same varietal, but the variety of quality levels will definitely be different.
Working in the Hilltop neighborhood, David says his reputation is important. He gauges his business on how he and the community form relationships.
It is partially about being patient, waiting for the neighborhood to develop a little more in certain ways. There's a big regentrification going on in Hilltop.
Like a robust glass of wine, David says Tacoma gives him the zing and the motivation to invest in the community.
I like the vibe of Tacoma. I think it has enough edginess, and there's creativity here. There's an infrastructure, and it's a neighborhood, and it's a community. And I think it's best to serve the community, the neighborhood, and develop along with the neighborhood. And I'm going to be their guy when they think of wine,
That's it for Business Matters. Join me next time for more insight into the Tacoma business scene. See you then.